Many of you aren't going to like the perspective I'm about to share with you, but I encourage you to just take a deep breath, lean into the curious part of you, and suspend any reactive judgment until the end of this video. I'm asking that you hear me out and trust that I've got a point. Hello everyone, my name is Tia and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I make videos that offer tips on how to improve the relationship with yourself and with other people. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss more tips from a therapist. Today, we're talking about sex-based ideologies. The red pill community isn't all bad. It encourages men to get in shape, develop self-confidence, and learn skills in order to make money. Red pill was originally based in evolutionary psychology as applied to relationships. The point was for men to lean into healthy forms of masculinity and love women better based on the biological imperatives of men and women. However, it has been perverted into something dark and antagonistic. Popular red pill community advice on sex and relationships is absolute crap. It has become a group of men that wrongly attribute most of their problems to the female sex. They speak in hyperbole and believe that every woman has the proclivity of the few worst examples of women. And as I stated in my previous video, Sex Tips for Men, only about 10% of women have a personality disorder that would be a cause of concern for exploitive behavior. And yet, radical man-hating feminists are no better. They suffer from the same cognitive distortions. They are the equal but opposite polarities of each other. Feminism also wasn't all bad to begin with. Feminism was originally meant to elevate women to an equal level as men, acknowledging and respecting women's unique experiences and strengths. Instead, it has also been twisted into the oppressed becoming the oppressors. They make ridiculous claims like every man is a potential rapist and I'd rather be caught in the forest with a bear than a man. Radical man-hating feminists also make gross generalizations that blame men and the patriarchy for all of their problems. Have you ever had two family members or two friends that absolutely hate each other, but from where you're standing, they're actually exactly the same? That's how red pill and radical feminists are. Both are all or nothing, where one sex is the victim and the other sex is totally villainized. Both lack appreciation for the differences between the opposite sex and distort complementary features into a competition. Both teach their followers that they should only care about themselves at the expense of other people, where the harm they cause is self-righteously motivated, and yet the harm done onto them is inherently evil. Both impose accountability entirely on the opposite sex and disown any personal responsibility in relationship dynamics. Both believe that double standards are okay as long as it benefits themselves. Both teach that making enough money means you can afford bad character. Both ideologies are based on fear and hate, with the proposed solution being self-preservation via manipulation and control of the other. Both of these groups are the blind leading the blind. Radical feminism is hurt women teaching other hurt women, and red pill is just hurt men teaching other hurt men. They cling to their trauma and proclaim their unhealthy relationship experience as a general truth for everybody. They convince themselves that they're doing a service to their gender, warning the masses so that they don't get hurt like themselves, when in fact, they're just projecting and perpetuating their own fears. Now, why would they do this? The incentives are actually pretty clear. First, it validates their own feelings and fortifies their own ego. Convincing other vulnerable people makes them feel resolute and self-righteous. Misery loves company, and it's much easier to commiserate rather than change themselves for the better. These ideologies incentivize people to stay stuck, oscillating between the anger and depression stages of grief. And people in a leadership role in these types of communities don't know how to get out of it, and they don't want you to. Being a part of the red pill or radical feminist community provides an illusion of connection and belonging that they haven't been able to achieve within real relationships. The second incentive is making money off of wounded men and women. People have created entire brands with courses and merchandise that they can sell as an emblem of your identity in the group, rooted in the worst experiences of your life or your greatest fears. It is an incredible exploitation of emotions, as all good marketing is. These polarizing views create a self-perpetuating cycle. One sex hurts the other. The hurt find a community that affirms their pain and encourages maladapting coping mechanisms, then returns fire on the opposite sex, feeling very justified doing so, and the cycle continues. We cannot stop this toxic cycle unless we get to the root of the problem, which neither the red pill or radical feminist communities do. On a grand scale, we need to rebuke the culture of glorifying victimhood and self-righteous retaliation. In therapy, we understand that maladaptive coping mechanisms make sense on some level. We utilize them because they serve some function, even if it doesn't make rational sense. Obviously, drug addiction can cause some significant harm in a person's life. However, it provides an escape from the pain that they feel like they can't attain in any other way. These communities are the same. They exist for a functional reason. They're an attempt to replace what was lost, a roadmap of what we're supposed to do with the opposite sex. The fracture of the family unit has left us without positive role models of healthy relationships. Most families have more divorces in them than long-standing marriages. This fracture disconnects us from wise elders that, in the past, would have given us healthy guidance on how to navigate relationships with the opposite sex. Furthermore, humans used to spend a lot of time with each other. There is a loneliness epidemic among us. Advancements in technology in the COVID era have shattered our in-person social network. We used to socialize with people of various life stages with different vantage points that offer valuable perspective. Nowadays, we usually only spend time with people in our current life stage. Single men and women feel more comfortable hanging out with other single men and women, where they can share affirming misery, confusion, and really bad advice. We've disconnected single men and women from married men and women with experience that could be highly useful in developing their long-term relationship skills. In place of this natural order, hurt men and women have to turn to online communities with other hurt men and women. This creates a silo of reality that isn't directly challenged via real in-person connections with people at different life stages that humans used to have. Men and women have never been more confused about what to do with each other. When we've been hurt by the opposite sex, of course, we have to feel and process our way through that. And when we're in the middle of a traumatic experience, we're not able to think too clearly. However, relying on these ideologies is a choice to stay stuck. If we misdiagnose a disorder, we can't come up with an appropriate cure. The root of the problem is not what these communities claim it to be, so their proposed solutions won't work. Here's what to do instead. Rather than relying on these overcorrections to trauma, we need to follow a different path. A path focused on healing relational trauma, both in your family and in romantic relationships. A path of learning how to distinguish between healthy and unhealthy partners, developing long-term relationship skills, and evolving into a mindset where there's a complementary balance of the sexes. When you get out of a bad relationship or a bad interaction with the opposite sex, here's what you should do. You should do a post-mortem examination of what went wrong. Start by examining what you're accountable for, including what attracted you to this person, especially if you have a track record of repeated interactions with unhealthy people. Now, if you struggle to answer this question yourself, a therapist could be a great resource for you. Once you've taken account of your part, then you can focus on what the other person was accountable for. Next, you should reflect on what you want and need as a partner in order to be happy and healthy, and be able to verbalize that out loud. That way, you can identify the type of partner that will be a good match for you. You should also learn about evolutionary biology of what the opposite sex actually wants from you and improve in those areas to attract the best possible match that you can. You should learn how to distinguish between unhealthy and healthy partners so you can make more informed selections and avoid more trauma. Finally, you should learn about healthy attachment and relationship skills so you can maintain a connection once you find an appropriate match. We cannot heal attachment wounds in isolation. Attachment wounds from relational trauma can only be fully healed within the context of a healthy relationship. You either learn how to do these things differently or you choose to forfeit your potential. And it is a choice. Don't fool yourself into believing otherwise. Did you find this video helpful? What are your thoughts on this topic? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.